wildfires have been cleared of debris. And Universal Music Group launched the Barry Gordy Music Industry Scholarship at UCLA's Herb Alpert School of Music. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Every day, a child in poverty waits for a sponsor is another day of hopelessness. There are thousands of kids who've been waiting over a year. End their wait. Sponsor a child with compassion today. Just text the word radio to 83393.
Is this the tiger?
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It was not a good day for both of LA's baseball teams. The Dodgers and Angels were swept in three-game series on Sunday. The Dodgers lost at home to Houston 5-1. They start a six-game road trip tonight at Milwaukee. The Angels fell 3 games below 500 after losing 3-2 at Toronto. The Angels are back home tonight against Texas. The Dodgers will have 3 players in the starting lineup for the All-Star Game July 15th in Atlanta. Catcher Will Smith, first baseman Freddie Freeman, and designated hitter Shohei Ohtani. Clayton Kershaw, who got his 3,000th career strikeout last week, was invited as a Legends pick. Michael Vick will make his coaching debut at HBCU Norfolk State on national TV. ESPN is making plans to televise Norfolk State's season opener against Towson State on Thursday night, August 28th. Kickoff is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you. 1, 2, 3, go! I'm gonna try to keep it coming. But I'll be alright as long as I can find the groove. Yes, I will. Somehow I know that I can make it. You seem to like my style. Don't you worry, I'm gonna be around a while. Yes, I will. I'm just happy to see you talk to me back in style.
Live from historic Leimert Park in Los Angeles, California, I'm Tavis Smiley, and I'm so glad to see you and me. Back in stride again. Before we get started with today's show, let me invite you to follow me on Facebook and Instagram at The Real Tavis Smiley, and get updates on X, that's formerly Twitter, at Tavis Smiley. By the way, should you miss any part of today's program or want to catch up on previous shows, you can always visit thetavismiley.com. That's thetavismiley.com, or wherever you get your podcast, and listen to the Tavis Smiley podcast version of this live program at your leisure. Another great show on tap for you today. In our second hour, 2 conversations. Up first, Chicago had another violent 4th of July weekend, but local public radio reporter Chip Mitchell talks about how Chicago's violent crime rate is actually plummeting. I mean, hard to imagine. All these years of violence in Chicago, the numbers are down. They are significantly down in Chicago. We'll tell you why in our second hour at the top when we talk to, Chicago reporter Chip Mitchell, about the work that these street outreach workers are doing in the Windy City. That's the top of hour 2. On the B side of hour 2.
Welcome to the Moulin Rouge.
This can.
Award-winning actor Taye Diggs is back on Broadway for the first time in a decade, starring in Moulin Rouge, the musical. We will talk to Taye Diggs about his new role on the backside of hour 2. In our third hour, last summer, Elise Bryant burst onto the scene with her first adult mystery called It's Elementary, to great fanfare, no less. The book was featured everywhere, from Good Morning America to the New York Times to People magazine. Well, just in time for the book's release tomorrow, Elise Bryant joins us today in our final hour to talk about her new novel, The Game Is Afoot, the eagerly anticipated follow-up, which takes another hilarious and poignant look at the full scope of motherhood that isn't always shown in contemporary portrayals. Elise Bryant's novels are on fire. The new one drops tomorrow, but she'll join us today in our final hour. In this first hour today, 2 more conversations on the B side of this hour.
Of course, we are covering breaking news right now of the Palisades fire. Another fire breaking out right now. This one is being called the Eaton Fire. We know that this is happening at Pinecrest. This is near Altadena. You can see the fire right there, LA County Fire. They're on the scene. Structure defense, they're saying, is being set up as flames are visible from the freeway. We do know that we have ground crews that are also en route. Take a look at some of these pictures right here. We know, again, that LA County is asking for a helicopter to help fight this fire. But again, you can see it. A lot of people are obviously watching this that are in the Altadena area. But again, this is at Eaton Canyon, at the Kinaloa Canyon area, a hiking trail. We know a lot of people hike in this area, David. So again, a lot of anxious nerves right now.
It's the worst possible news you can get because of so many resources are moved over to Pacific Palisades, and that's a desperate situation with so many homes going up in flames. What if this one continues to increase rapidly, and as we saw, they cannot get air support overhead? So that is a major catastrophe waiting to happen because they can't use any of their air assets to get on top of this fire, especially if this fire is in a place that's hard to get to on the ground. Then we have something that's going to exponentially make things far, far worse. But we're going to continue to watch the situation in Eaton Canyon.
Believe it or not, it was 6 months ago today that the LA wildfires erupted. On the B side of this hour, we'll talk with James Farr, my colleague and journalist, who has penned a powerful and provocative piece for the LA Progressive entitled Half a Year Later, The Flames Are Gone, But So Is the Help. Altadena burned, Southern California Edison sparked it, the system lets us smolder. Powerful piece by James Farr. He'll join us live in studio on the backside of this hour. We will commence today's show talking politics with Professor and Founding Director of the Race, Politics, and Policy Center at George Mason University, Dr. Michael Fauntroy. I'm thinking about Altadena. I'm thinking about this big ugly bill that Donald Trump signed into law on July 4th, and I'm thinking of somebody who once said there are no good times to be black in America, and some times are worse than others. There are no good times to be black in America, and sometimes are worse than others. We'll talk about the Altadena fire 6 months ago today, and what has and has not happened for the black residents of this sort of black Wakanda, if you will. It was the area of the country that had the highest percentage of black home ownership. I mean, think about all these black enclaves. Prince George's County. Think about Baldwin Hills, Ladera Heights, View Park here in L.A. These two areas in Maryland and Los Angeles go back and forth as the two wealthiest black enclaves, but even they did not have the rate of home ownership that black folk had in Altadena. And here we are now, 6 months later. As I said earlier, this big ugly bill was signed into law on July 4th, Independence Day, and all the fallout. The assault on black lives is unprecedented. Never before have we seen this kind of transfer of wealth in the history of this republic. I'll cut Michael Fauntroy loose for the rest of this half hour when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
Or to buy down your mortgage rate. Find out more at cnb.com/ladderuphome. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Property must be in a qualifying market in California, New York, or New Jersey. Additional terms and conditions apply. Not all applicants will qualify. Terms are subject to change without notice. City National Bank is an equal housing lender. Member FDIC. NMLS number 536994.
Hey, Mom, I've been meaning to talk to you about some new COVID information I saw online. I read that black folks like us with certain conditions like diabetes, heart disease, mental health conditions, or being 50 and older, like you, are at high risk.
Boy, you sound like a commercial.
I'm just saying. I know you love your ginger teas and essential oils, but remember, there are treatment options for COVID-19.
I promise if I get sick again, I'll call my doctor to ask about my options.
Visit WeTalkWeRise.com to learn more. Brought to you by Pfizer.
Small businesses are the heart of America. But you don't have to go it alone. As the nation's largest nonprofit resource of expert business mentoring, SCORE has helped millions of entrepreneurs build their businesses for free. Get the connections, education, and guidance you need with SCORE. We're ready to help. Find a mentor today at score.org.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Autopsy Initiative provides a second autopsy free of charge for victims' families who have lost their loved ones due to a police-related death. The services offered through the initiative include the completion of a second autopsy, disclosure of preliminary findings, and a final autopsy report. A police-related death is when an individual is harmed by police officers using deadly force, which results in an individual's death. Police-related death includes in-custody deaths, including those that arise during contact with law enforcement officers during arrest, pursuit, booking, transport, or incarceration. The Autopsy Initiative has a team of board-certified pathologists on call. An autopsy request may be completed by anyone with a close relationship with the victim, which may include the victim's spouse, partner, relative, close friend, or lawyer. To request a free second autopsy for a victim of police violence, please visit knowyourrightscamp.com. That's knowyourrightscamp.com. Then click on Autopsy, then click on Request. At KBLA, we believe in justice for victims of police violence. We say their names, and we don't black down. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Sometimes he fails at fitting in, but we're okay with that. You're inside the Tavis Smiley Show.
One last clip before I get to Michael Fauntroy. This is Donald Trump in the Rose Garden on Friday, July 4th. Well, just take a listen.
And before I start, I want to tell you that I've never seen people so happy in our country because of that. Because so many different groups of people are being taken care of, the military and civilians of all types, jobs of all types. We're adding things like the biggest tax cut in the history of our country, child tax credits. So many things are being added that we wouldn't even have time to discuss them. When we were doing it, John Thune and Mike Johnson right there, I see Mike, what a job they've done. What a job they've done. But you know, it was supposed to be in 3, 4, 5, 6, or 7 different bills. And I was on one of the fake news shows and I said, let's do it in one beautiful, big, we want one big, beautiful bill. I said that to this newscaster, and I think a lot of the congressmen and senators were watching, and they said, let's name the bill that, the one big, beautiful bill.
So there you have it. Donald Trump in the Rose Garden on Friday signing this one big, beautiful bill, as he calls it, into law. All right, Michael, I don't even know where to start. It's good to hear your voice, though. How are you, sir?
I'm doing well, man. It's always good to hear yours, too.
I guess the starting place is this. What you make of the fact that Donald Trump was able to weave, to squeeze, to put all of this MAGA agenda into one colossal bill and get it signed into law?
Part of it is political fear. Republicans don't want to be on his bad side because his following is so strong that they could lose their seats in the House and Senate. And I think the other part of it is just straight political calculus. If you do it all in one bill in the summer of 2025, rather than piecemeal throughout the rest of 2025 and perhaps into 2026, then it's possible that people will forget all of the evil and disgraceful things that are in the bill by the time they vote in November of 2026. So I think it was also about political calculus. And when you look at when some of these tax cuts and safety net cuts actually go into effect,
that's right,
I think they're betting on people not paying attention or moving on to the next thing in their lives.
Speaking of political calculus, one of the things that I thought they did rather brilliantly, it's an evil bill, it's a cruel bill, no question about that. Don't get it twisted with regard to where I stand on the bill. But game recognizes game, and so when I see somebody make a brilliant move, I shout it out. So one of the things they did in this bill, and Michael sort of teased it up, that was rather smart, is that the hurt and the pain in this bill don't kick in until after the midterms. So these tax cuts
don't kick in until after the tax cut.
That's exactly right. So the tax cuts kick in first. No surprise there. But they were smart enough.
Like yesterday. Immediately.
Like immediately. Yeah. The minute Donald Trump signed it, the tax cuts kicked in immediately, right? Like 1 second later. But the hurt, the pain, the assault that black folk, the pain that poor people, including a bunch of white people, are going to feel, they won't feel that until after the midterms, after the tax cuts kick in. That was pretty smart, Michael.
Well, let me put a point on that.
Okay.
So one of the big issues in California, New York, D.C., really expensive parts of the country is the state and local tax deduction that blue state Republicans were focused on trying to get lifted.
Mm-hmm.
There used to be a deduction that you could take off of your federal taxes. When Trump came in the first time, they wiped that out or reduced it down to $10,000. So Republicans got it pushed up to $40,000, but even that is temporary. It expires in 4 years, and then people who live in those jurisdictions are back in the same place they were. And it's just the higher standard deduction starts immediately, but then this other stuff, the Medicaid work requirements and all those things that are going to push people into a really bad space with upwards of 12 million people about to use their health insurance coverage. Those are leaked out over time, and folks who just think that things are getting bad for them, not realizing that things are getting bad for them based on what was done in 2025.
Yeah, so here's the thing. Democrats, I'm of two minds, let me put it that way, when I think of how Democrats can respond to this. So the one is that this has given them a huge opportunity. We saw Hakeem Jeffries. I was live on the air last Thursday. He went for almost 9 hours. I was on the air for 3 of those 9 hours. 9 hours, he basically filibustered. He used his privilege as minority leader to talk as long as he wanted. Speaker Mike Johnson said, as soon as Hakeem shuts up, we will vote. And they did so immediately and passed this thing 218 to 214, as I recall. But he held it up as long as he could. Everybody knew it was going to pass ultimately. As I said, it did. And Trump signed it into law on Friday. But this presents Democrats, I think, an opportunity if, a lot of ifs there, if they have the message discipline, it provides Democrats a huge opportunity for the next couple years, next year or so, between now these midterms, to crisscross the country and to explain to people what's in this bill and to warn them. I kind of feel like Noah's Ark. The rain is coming. The rain is coming. You better come inside. The rain is coming. They've got a year now to start to spread this message about all that's about to rain down on the heads of poor people in this country if they have the message discipline. That's one side, Michael. The other side is that it's hard to fight back when people aren't feeling any pain. this goes back again to my as I think about it, it's my use of the Noah's Ark story. Nobody believed Noah when he kept saying, it's going to rain, it's going to rain, it's going to rain. I'm not trying to proselytize this morning, but I think we all know the Noah's Ark story. That's why I use it as a metaphor, as an example. You see my point, Michael?
Yeah. So I think ultimately that's correct. And there's one more piece that I would add to that, and that is your options are limited to your behavior is limited to the options that are before you. And so the Democrats don't have a full range of options that they can play on this. I want to pick up on your word discipline, because I think that's the most important thing. There should never be a Democrat in the House or Senate who speaks in public without picking 3 items from this bill to discuss. It should be the Medicaid work requirements, which are going to push 12 million people off of health insurance. We need to tell the truth about these SNAP cuts. There are a lot of people who don't know that they benefit from these kinds of programs and won't realize it until the money is gone. So that's number 2. And then the final thing is they need to talk about how there are over $1 trillion in cuts for billionaires and the ultra-wealthy. While meanwhile, and I wrote about this in a piece the other day, the Republicans Trump and the Republicans are acting like poor people have too much money and rich people don't have enough. So they're providing all of these cuts to billionaires while regular people, rank and file people, get crumbs.
Yeah. What's your sense of the way that this is going to end? I called it assault on Black America and assault. What's your sense of the way this is going to impact Black America? And put another way, is Black America, again, back to the Noah's Ark story and people not believing it was going to rain. And again, this instance, they're not going to really feel the pain for another couple of years. What about the assault on Black America? And what's your sense of how Black America responds to something they're really not going to feel until after the midterms? And my question is, how do we respond politically?
So this is a real worrisome point for me, because I am trying to fight the feeling that some people just don't want to be free and don't want to do the things that citizenship requires to stay up on things. And then when the bottom falls out, then you decide to act. I'm worried. I actually am, because I think we only, and this is generally, not just for Black people, but generally speaking, we people, human beings, are so focused on what's in the here and now that we often don't take a long-term view. And I am fearful that the Republicans may be able to slide by on this because people are focused on deportations and some of this other stuff, notwithstanding the fact that this bill puts $150 billion into investing in ICE agents and detention centers. So I think the stuff that's in the news every single day is what's going to drive how people react. And I'm worried that means that a lot of the sort of rank and file stuff that happens to most Black folks might not get the attention it needs.
I asked you about Black folks. Black folks happen to be largely Democratic, as you well know, and I'm wondering whether or not you think the other part of my question is that this big ugly bill will galvanize Democratic voters between now and the midterms.
I think it can, but again, people need to see a regular sort of recitation of some of the problems that is being caused right now. So there's farm programs that were cut when Trump came in the office. Those federal grant programs provided millions of dollars to help support farmers who were already losing revenue because of the AID cutbacks. And so these kinds of stories that are happening in small communities, in suburban communities, in big cities, we got to keep telling those stories and make sure that there's some energy around explaining to people what's real, what isn't, and why it matters.
You referenced your piece that you wrote recently. I saw that piece. I wonder if you might say a word about the piece for those who didn't get a chance to read it. It's in the Washington Informer, as I recall, the dangerously inverted logic driving Trumpnomics. Unpack it for me right quick, Michael.
Yeah, the bottom line is, and I alluded to this a second ago, Trumponomics is like Reaganomics in that it takes the position that poor people have too much money and rich people don't have enough money. And so when you look at the cuts to the safety net programs, and I'm not even talking about the federal student loan programs in addition to that aren't necessarily a safety net program. You're talking about the billions and billions of dollars that are cut, at least $1.3 trillion over the course of the next decade, and the resulting changes in tax cuts for the wealthy people. it's just a continuation on hyperdrive, on steroids, of this inverted way in which public policy is now made. And again, Republicans in the House and Senate, some of whom know they voted for a bill that's going to hurt their own constituents, are more concerned with their own political position than they are their constituents' position. And as a result, we have this, what I call, dangerously inverted way of doing our politics. 40 years ago in D.C., there was a group called the Junkyard Band who did a song that basically said Reagan gave the Pentagon the student loan money. Well, all these years later, Trump gave ICE and the Pentagon the farmers' money, the poor people's money, the health care money, and all that. And so that's where we are right now.
Yeah. Speaking of billionaires and oligarchs, Trump and Musk are out of the game. Donald Trump said on his True Social platform, "I am saddened to watch Elon Musk go completely off the rails." He even wants to start a third political party, despite the fact they have never succeeded in the United States. Trump went in on Musk because Musk went in on Trump when he announced the formation of a new third party called the America Party. He announced that the day after Trump signed this mega bill. And so, Musk has said he's going to start a third party. Trump's going after him. They're back at it again. I thought they had a ceasefire there for a while, Michael.
A ceasefire. Yeah, wouldn't that be nice?
Yeah.
They are two sides of the same horrific coin, and I don't, a pox on both their houses as far as I'm concerned. But Musk is revealing his complete ignorance around American politics, and I find it curious that the Republicans are now jumping on him when they were more than happy to get on his back when he was paying for everything during the 2024 campaign. So I don't want to hear from any of them on that. Steve Bannon is among those who have been going at Musk pretty hard. But again, third parties is very difficult to work, particularly when you start at the top, as he appears to be doing.
Yeah.
But he doesn't need a lot to really impact a potential election in 2026. And so it will be interesting to see just how serious this effort is.
I don't take the third party thing seriously because you're right. You can't start top down. It's got to be bottom up. I had that same conversation with my friend Cornel West when he ran as a third party candidate, that, we have to spend the time, invest the time to really build a party bottom up. It can't be a top down strategy that we employ every 4 years when it comes time for an election. You got to build it bottom up. So I don't disagree with Michael in that regard. So I don't take Musk seriously on this. What I do take him seriously on is he may pick off a few Republicans. He's going primary. He's going to spend some money to primary some of these Republicans. And so they thought they avoided a primary challenge by getting in line with Trump on this big ugly bill. And they're going to find out that Musk is going to pump some money into some of these campaigns to fund people to take them on. We shall see how that works out in a year or so from now. Speaking of ceasefire, Trump is meeting with Netanyahu, Bibi, at the White House this evening about 6:30 Eastern time, as I recall. I don't know what's going to come out of that, but Bibi has been playing Trump like a fiddle of late, to my mind, Michael, including getting him to drop those bunker buster bombs on Iran.
Yeah. So Netanyahu is an experienced hand in international politics. Trump is not, and that's why we're seeing some of what we're seeing. I don't know what's going to come of it, but I know they're not going to stop until Gaza is in that AI, looks like that AI video that Trump released earlier this year. Those folks are dead serious about wiping everybody off of Gaza and starting over.
Nope, they are very serious about it. And again, Bibi is back in the White House. Again, I have no idea, as Michael just said, he doesn't either, about what's going to come out of this. But I suspect more aid for Israel. Certain things we can guess. More aid for Israel and more promises, more commitments to have their back in their effort to flatten Gaza, as you mentioned a moment ago. So we'll keep our eye on that and be talking about that tomorrow. I suspect whatever comes out of this meeting tonight. For now, I thank the professor and founding director of the Race, Politics, and Policy Center at George Mason University, Dr. Michael K. Fauntroy, who pops in here as often as he can to share his insights, which I deeply appreciate. Michael, all the best to you, sir. We'll talk soon.
Likewise, good brother.
More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
What's your quarrel with the world? You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
paid for by government.com. Did you know the United States Mint has issued a new Morgan silver dollar coin in proof condition for the first time? Not only that, they are also minted in 99.9% pure silver for the first time ever in history. Coin experts are calling this an amazing opportunity for anyone that knows the enduring popularity of Morgans. But you must hurry. Only 400,000 of these legal tender silver dollars were issued. These first ever Morgan silver dollars are brand new with stunning mirror-like finish, minted by the iconic San Francisco Mint. Call now and you're guaranteed a new first ever 99.9% pure silver proof Morgan dollar. To learn more, call 1-800-973-9717. If you order now, you will receive a free coin collector bonus pack, a $25 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-973-9717 now to secure your new Morgan silver dollars before they are gone. That's 1-800-973-9717.
I'm Misty Jordan with BIN News Now. President Trump says he plans to be in Texas this week to visit areas of the state hardest hit by the catastrophic flash flooding.
Probably on Friday. We wanted to leave a little time. I would have done it today, but we'd just be in their way.
Search and recovery efforts are underway for a third day after flooding killed people in 6 counties. A black man and his girlfriend attended a comedy show in Kansas City. A white woman claims the couple laughed too loudly. The police got involved and the black couple ended up in handcuffs that night. The charges were dismissed, but now the couple filed a lawsuit against the police department for arresting them without interviewing witnesses. They claim their rights were violated for not being able to enjoy the show they paid for. And actor Alan Payne is 57 years old today. Get BIN News now on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Think It Up is an initiative to activate student-powered, teacher-led learning projects. Students and teachers, how can you spark great learning experiences in your classrooms today? Join at thinkitup.org.
Is this the time? This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
It was not a good day for both of LA's baseball teams. The Dodgers and Angels were swept in 3-game series on Sunday. The Dodgers lost at home to Houston 5-1. They start a 6-game road trip tonight at Milwaukee. The Angels fell 3 games below 500 after losing 3-2 at Toronto. The Angels are back home tonight against Texas. The Dodgers will have 3 players in the starting lineup for the All-Star game July 15th in Atlanta. Catcher Will Smith, first baseman Freddie Freeman, and designated hitter Shohei Ohtani. Clayton Kershaw, who got his 3,000th career strikeout last week, was invited as a Legends pick. Michael Vick will make his coaching debut at HBCU Norfolk State on national TV. ESPN is making plans to televise Norfolk State's season opener against Towson State on Thursday night, August 28th. Kickoff is 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson. More news, opinions, and conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
At KBLA Talk 1580, we're proud to be celebrating 4 years on the air, but we know we could not have made it this far without you. We work hard every single day to curate conversations that will enlighten, encourage, and empower you. So, from all of us at KBLA Talk 1580, a big thank you for your love and support.
You don't know how much you mean to me.
And by the way, if your smartphone did not update automatically, be sure to download our brand new KBLA 1580 app. We think you'll love all the new features, including new ways to send us photos and video in real time, whenever news breaks, while we're on the air. It's a new dawn, a new day for KBLA Talk 1580, and we're glad you're on this journey with us.
You never turned away, you were right there. Thank you, thank you.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 is committed to self-care and community well-being. Walk Good LA was formed in June 2020, inspired by the Black Lives Matter movement and the beginning stages of the COVID-19 pandemic. What began as a few minutes of breath work and yoga meditation before protests against police brutality turned into a safe space for the community to heal in hard times. The immensely positive response from the community transformed the momentum into a movement. Today, Walk Good LA is a black and brown-led community wellness organization based in Los Angeles. They provide spaces for healing through community yoga classes, guided meditations, hikes, run clubs, and other activations throughout Los Angeles that attract hundreds of members weekly. With the help of Propel and Michael B. Jordan, they now have a yoga and wellness studio in Los Angeles called the Walk Good Yard. To join their mailing list and connect with healing spaces, please visit walkgoodla.org. That's walkgoodla.org. Or find them on Instagram at walkgoodla. This is a community call to action, a community call to healing from KBLA Talk 1580.
This is KBLA Talk 1580. Talk radio. That's music to your ears. We're unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. He's a paradigm pioneer and the top-rated African-American talk show host in the nation, according to Talkers Magazine. You're tapped in with Tavis Smiley right now.
Believe it or not, it was 6 months ago today that the LA wildfires erupted. In this half hour, we'll talk with James Farr, my colleague and journalist, who has penned a powerful and provocative piece for the LA Progressive entitled "Half a Year Later. The flames are gone, but so is the help." Altadena burned. Southern California Edison sparked it. The system lets us smolder. Before I get to James, let me just take you back 6 months ago and give you some sound of what was happening here in Southern California.
Of course, we are covering breaking news right now of the Palisades fire. Another fire breaking out right now. This one is being called the Eden Fire. We know that this is happening at Pinecrest. This is near Altadena. You can see the fire right there. LA County Fire. They're on the scene. Structure defense, they're saying, is being set up as flames are visible from the freeway. We do know that we have ground crews that are also en route. Take a look at some of these pictures right here. We know, again, that LA County is asking for a helicopter to help fight this fire. But again, you can see it. A lot of people are obviously watching this that are in the Altadena area. But again, this is at Eaton Canyon, at the Kinaloa Canyon area, a hiking trail. We know a lot of people hike in this area, David. So again, a lot of anxious nerves right now.
It's the worst possible news you can get because of so many resources are moved over to Pacific Palisades, and that's a desperate situation with so many homes going up in flames. What if this one continues to increase rapidly, and as we saw, they cannot get air support overhead? So that is a major catastrophe waiting to happen because they can't use any of their air assets to get on top of this fire, especially if this fire is in a place that's hard to get to on the ground. Then we have something that's going to exponentially make things far, far worse. But we're going to continue to watch the situation in Eaton Canyon.
I'm grateful to say that my colleague James Farr and his family, while they were evacuated 6 months ago, they did not lose their home, but so many of the persons who James knows and loves did, in fact, lose everything. So I guess the proverbial question is, does it feel like 6 months?
First of all, good morning, Mr. Smiley. Good morning, Tavis. No, it doesn't. It feels like a perpetual 24-hour cycle that hasn't stopped.
Yeah. When you say it feels like a perpetual 24-hour cycle, unpack that for me.
Meaning the last 6 months just seem like yesterday. Things are so different that they seem the same, right? Yes, we sleep. Yes, we do other things. We assume our lives normally. But then every day there's that reminder of what yesterday held. And it kind of takes you back into the moment. Like just listening to that sound, I see myself sitting on the couch watching that very news broadcast that you just played and imagining what I was, or not imagining, reliving what I was experiencing in that moment.
What are those reminders? What are the things that trigger those memories?
Well, you realize that, as I wrote in that LA Progressive piece, that we got to save ourselves. We are on our own. I was waiting for an alert to come on my phone, or someone to tell me on the television, or someone to call me. It didn't happen. I was lucky, though. My family was lucky. The police came through our neighborhood and said, leave now. And I'm usually a why kind of person when it comes to police, right? I didn't hesitate. We made a haste and got out of there right away, only to find out that so many suffered such a great loss hours later.
We did a town hall, as you recall. You were there, and you were in a part of it. We broadcast that town hall for the nation live. We did a town hall on the 100th day, almost a few weeks ago now, a couple months ago now. We went out to Altadena and took the station out there, the local station here in L.A. This program's heard across the nation, of course. We took our local station out to Altadena and did a live remote broadcast from there. And I had the opportunity to drive around with James in advance. I went out early that day, left L.A. and drove out to Altadena earlier in the day so I could spend a couple hours just riding around with him and having him show me, and I could see for myself. And I've been in TV and radio for 30-plus years. It's what I've done for my entire career. And I've heard this line 1,000 times. I've used it probably 1,000 times, that the pictures just didn't do it justice. You had to see it up close. And James drove me around. We got out. We walked neighborhoods, and I got a chance to actually see. And at this point, some of the hazmat people were out. They were starting to do some of the cleanup, and so the process was beginning. But at that time, they still had not issued, as I recall, a single permit for rebuilding. What's happening or not happening, as it were, and I know on your program that we broadcast here on our station, Conversation Live, Altadena Rising, I don't know how you're doing it, man, but you're twisting a bunch of arms because I see the list of people coming in to talk to you every week, local elected officials, some of whom are trying to avoid these tough questions, but somehow you're squeezing their arms and you're getting them in the studio, which I appreciate. But what's that said, what's happening or not with the rebuild? What's happening with these permits? Are they being let? What's the story?
Absolutely. We are now 180 days, exactly 6 months since the event. The permit process has been very slow. Less than 20 have been issued to date at this point.
Less than 20?
Less than 20.
In 6 months?
In 6 months, right. The county needed to catch up to that process. Supervisor Barger introduced a motion a couple of weeks ago. At first, they were requiring folks to have to pay flat out for the fees for permits. The language in the new motion is asking that the cost of those fees be deferred, which is very problematic. It almost feels punitive to many of the residents that are already making both ends meet and scrimping and scraping, trying to exist and survive. And so this recovery process, Tavis, as many of us knew in this space, it wasn't going to be a quick solution. I mean, we're talking about years before something even gets close to normal.
Yep. Yeah. The supervisor that he referenced a moment ago, Catherine Barger, is actually she's the president at the moment of the L.A. County Board of Supervisors, and so Altadena is in L.A. County. For those listening across the country, we can't talk shorthand that way. So that's who Catherine Barger is. She's the president of the L.A. County Board of Supervisors, and that's the woman he referenced a moment ago who introduced this motion to reduce these fees or waive these fees. So you don't just have electeds on your show every week. You also talk to everyday people. I love tuning in every week to hear the everyday people that you talk to. give me a sense of where people are now. They're clearly still displaced. Where are they? How are they making it? At our 4th anniversary party, as you know, we had everybody came to celebrate our 4th anniversary on Juneteenth. We had people bring food gift cards.
Mm-hmm.
We said we did a big promotion here in L.A. I don't care if it's to a grocery store or to a restaurant, but so many people are still living in hotels and they don't have food. And so bring gift cards. We collected I was so grateful. Just that a couple of days later, we were in our staff room, our conference room, just counting the gift cards that people had brought. We collected a lot of gift cards that we distributed to these persons who've been displaced. But where are people? How are they making it?
Well, the history of our people, Tavis, is we make it with less in the first place, right? We take what's left over and make it into something. That's not something that's new. People are making it because they have to make it. Many are struggling, many are striving, and many are just kind of in limbo. But this idea that we're in this space of recovery is a farce, and I wish people would stop it, knock it off. It's relief.
I'm about to ask. You went there, so I love you. I was about to ask you what word you would use instead of recovery. The word is relief. Tell me why.
Because relief triggers resources, right? You can't do anything, unfortunately, without money. Many people, certainly we've done good things at this station, and others have done great things with gift cards, and those are things that people need. That's a temporary fix. That's a little bit of relief, right? But when you're looking at being underinsured, right, when you're looking at the resources, and perhaps you settle with your insurance adjusters prematurely, right? Folks are in a space where they're not going to have enough capital to sustain this long, like where we are right now, will burn and last far longer than the flames. The pain of it, the singeing of it. And so people need resources. I think about Martin Gordon, elder who you met, who lost everything, right? In his 70-something-year-old mind, he's trying to figure out what's the next best move for him. Rebuilding, temporary housing, ADU, but all of that comes down to money.
When we come forward, speaking of money, I want to ask whether people are holding or whether they're selling. That's the ultimate question for many of us. Are they holding? Are they selling? We know they're crunched, no question about it. But I quoted my friend James Farr, referred to Altadena as the Black Wakanda, and said earlier in this program that we know there are two wealthy black enclaves in this country, Prince George's County in Maryland, and of course where I sit here, Ladera Heights, View Park, Baldwin Hills, et cetera, the other wealthy black enclave, the two wealthiest in the country, frankly. But neither of them even had the high rate of black home ownership that they had in Altadena. So are people selling or are they holding? More with James Farr when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
We asked seniors how to prevent Medicare scams.
My best advice, if you get a phone call, do not talk to the person. These people are well trained. Don't talk to them.
They don't know me. They're just trying to scam me.
Don't be fooled. Hang up. Just hang up.
Never give out your Medicare number.
They're going to get your number to put in a false claim.
If I get a call from someone, I don't pick up the phone. And should I pick up the phone and they ask for information, then I hang up.
How do you detect Medicare fraud?
Just like I check my credit card statements, I check my Medicare statements monthly.
Scammers can get a hold of your number, order medical devices through your account, and you're not even going to know about it if you don't look at your statement.
Check your statement every month.
If you get your statement and you see something that you know you did not have done, you report it.
Call your senior Medicare Patrol.
To report Medicare fraud, call the Senior Medicare Patrol at 855-613-7080.
Interrogating and unpacking. That's what we do around here. You're listening to Tavis Smiley.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580, connecting you with services and solutions. The Los Angeles Regional Food Bank is on a mission to fight hunger and provide nutritious food to those in need across our community. They partner with federal, state, and local programs advocating for better policies and funding for critical hunger relief programs like Cow Fresh, the Emergency Food Assistance Program, and the Child and Adult Care Food Program. The food bank works with coalitions and local representatives to make sure hunger is addressed in every district of LA County. They also run nutrition education campaigns, raise hunger awareness, and source nutritious food for distribution, all while supporting regulations that allow food pantries to operate safely. Want to help? Visit lafoodbank.org or call 323-234-3030 to volunteer or find a food bank near you. Together, we can ensure that no one goes hungry in Los Angeles County. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Freedom is an endless meeting. So let's get back to it with Tavis Smiley.
Everybody in Southern California knows this, but if you're listening to me across the country right now, we at my home station in LA, KBLA, have the one and only program that's done every week in Southern California, tracking the rebuild effort or lack thereof in Altadena. Only one media outlet in this city is holding people accountable every single week to the best interest of the African-American residents of Altadena. And we are pleased to say that show is called Conversation Live, Altadena Rising, hosted by my colleague James Farr, who joins me in studio right now for a few more minutes, but he's the host of this program that tracks all of this stuff every single week. So if you're an Altadena fan or our family and friends in Altadena or just fascinated and want to know more about the story, just check out James Farr, Conversation Live, Altadena Rising, every single week for updates on what's happening and not. I mean, we did that town hall, months ago now. I started with some opening remarks, as you recall, and I said the town hall then was really about just three questions. What has happened, what hasn't happened, and what needs to happen. That was it. And here we are, almost 200 days later now, asking those same questions. What has happened, what hasn't happened, what needs to happen. We'll get to that in a second here, but my earlier question, are people selling or are they holding?
That's a very binary question, Brother Tavis.
Yeah.
And it's one that is a very individual situation, right? And I think folks outside of this local space need to allow folks that personal space to make that decision. Generational wealth may look different now for some families than it did, or the idea of it later. But to answer directly to your question, yes, people are selling. Some people won't have a choice but to sell. For some people, that may be the best decision that they need to make for their families. Others are trying to figure out, can they hold out? What does tomorrow look like? And so I would encourage the audience, the delegation, to allow people the space to make that very, very personal decision.
It is personal. But that said, though, how concerned are you? Just be transparent with me, as you always are. How concerned are you really, that Altadena will never look the way it once did? I'm thinking about New Orleans.
This
weekend was the Essence Festival. I've been in New Orleans 1,000 times. I love NOLA. It's not the same NOLA that it was before Katrina.
No, it's gone.
Yeah,
it won't be the same.
Yeah.
And I think it's not my place because I didn't lose my home, right?
Yeah.
My neighborhood is still standing. So it's not my place to feel and project what others should feel and project. But the idea of what was normal January 6th is a memory.
What has happened, what has not happened, what needs to happen? Our remaining question for James Farr when we come forward on Tavis Smiley.
For all the freedom-loving folk, this is Tavis Smiley.
I feel like freedom.
If you're like me, 60 and retired, making ends meet, especially here at the supermarket and drugstore, is tough. I'm so blessed to have found benefitscheckup.org. It's a free and confidential website from the National Council on Aging that connected me to $1,200 a year in programs that help pay for food, medicine, utilities, and more. Maybe it can help you. BenefitsCheckup.org.
You know where you want to go in life, and City National Bank can help. City National knows the dedication it takes to build your vision for the future into a reality, and our team is here for you. We have a wide range of options to help, from personal savings accounts to interest-bearing money market savings accounts and more, all designed to help you get where you want to go. City National, here for every stage of the journey. Learn more at cnb.com. City National Bank is a subsidiary of Royal Bank of Canada, member FDIC.
During this time, it's important for everyone to know your rights. The 4th, 5th, and 6th Amendments in the U.S. Constitution protects every one of us, regardless of immigration status. The 4th Amendment requires a judicial warrant to search your home. The 5th protects your right to remain silent, and the 6th gives you the right to an attorney. Just remember,
No warrant, no key. 556. You don't have to speak. No lawyer inside. Don't say a thing. Yeah, we all got rights.
Hey, we all got rights.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy. In 2011, I founded Wesley Financial Group with one goal in mind: to help honest folks out of their timeshares permanently. Today, I run Wesley with my 2 sons, a real family business, treating every client and every employee like we'd want our own family treated. That philosophy has helped us grow into the largest, most trusted timeshare cancellation company in the United States. Fortune magazine even recognized us as one of the best places to work. Why? Because we genuinely care. In fact, some of our former clients were so moved by their experience working with us, they joined our team so they could help others to timeshare freedom. If you're stuck in a timeshare, give us a call. Let our family help your family.
Call Wesley now for your free timeshare exit kit. 800-687-7979. That's 800-687-7979. 800-687-7979.
Hey there, Los Angeles. This is James Lucky Jr., publisher and editor of Los Angeles News Observer. Are you hungry for news that matters to you in the African-American communities of Los Angeles? Well, buckle up, because we got the scoop you've been craving. Stay in the know and never miss a beat with our free weekly publications conveniently available near you. Or hop on the digital wave and become an exclusive subscriber at OGNSC.com. Don't forget to join the party on Instagram and Twitter at OGNSCINC for behind-the-scenes access and sizzling updates. No more FOMO. Let's stay informed, connected, and empowered together.
Less monologue, more dialogue. Tavis Smiley continues right now.
He does indeed for the next 3.5 minutes with my colleague James Farr, journalist. Again, a beautiful piece. In case you have not seen it, you should get it and read it. Where's it? I just had it here, James. Name of the piece.
It's in my head.
There it is. Half a year later, the flames are gone, but so is the help. Altadena burned. Southern California Edison sparked it. The system lets us smolder no matter where you're listening in the country. Just go to LA Progressive. Brilliant piece of work that Sharon and Dick, yes. Yeah, Sharon and Dick, I love that. Love them, and they do great work at the LA Progressive. That's where the piece can be found. Half a year later, the flames are gone, but so is the help, written by my colleague James Farr. All right, last 2.5 minutes I give to you. What has happened, what has not happened, what needs to happen, what has happened, what has not happened, and what needs to happen. Take it as you will.
Well, what has happened is we lost. And not just the folks in Altadena. I'm talking about collectively as a black community, right? We've lost. And this plays back into it wasn't a pop culture grab when I said that if Wakanda were a real place, Altadena would be one of its tribes, right? Mm-hmm. It truly is a place where everybody knows somebody that knows somebody who knows somebody, right? That is the connective tissue of it. That's what has happened. People have lost their homes. People have lost their possessions. People have lost their memories. People have lost so much. Let's go to what needs to happen, right? Sure. What needs to happen is the people who are in charge, right, our electeds, these high-ranking and high six-figure salary corporate executives in these suites need to do their damn jobs, at least one day, right? Now is the time for them to step up to that. What also needs to happen is people need relief. They need money. They don't need any more shoes. They don't need any more waters, no more air purifiers. The gift cards work because they are a currency that they can spend while they're in a hotel. But people need resources in order to rebuild their homes.
In this moment, 6 months later, how, with all we've talked about in this half hour, how are you sustaining your hope given all that's not being done?
I'm learning something new through this process, Tavis. Before I used to scoff and laugh at folks that I thought were hope addicts, right? I'm learning the discipline of hope. I'm learning a new way to grab on to that. Like this is what Big Mama used to say about leaning on your faith, right? I've seen humanity in people. I've seen predatory behavior in people. But I recognize that what my agency is, that I have to be hopeful for an entire community, because there's not a day that goes by that someone isn't calling, emailing, texting, James, what do I do? Yeah. That's a lot to hold. These shoulders ain't that big.
Well, somebody said keep hope alive.
Yeah.
And that's what we are doing 6 months later, and will, as long as we are black. James Farr, if you're in Southern California, will appear tonight at 7 p.m. L.A. time on Spectrum News 1 for another conversation. He has a busy day running around doing interviews because everybody's calling him about his assessment 6 months later. And why are they calling him? Because he's the host of the only program tracking Altadena every single week. That program is thankfully on this station. It is called Conversation Live, Altadena Rising. James, thanks for your work and witness for these months hosting this program. Thank you for holding people accountable every single week. And thank you for coming in to see me today. I appreciate you. More of Tavis Smiley when we come forward.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Misty Jordan with BIN News Now. President Trump says he plans to be in Texas this week to visit areas of the state hardest hit by the catastrophic flash flooding.
Probably on Friday. We wanted to leave a little time. I would have done it today, but we'd just be in their way.
Search and recovery efforts are underway for a third day after flooding killed people in 6 counties. A black man and his girlfriend attended a comedy show in Kansas City. A white woman claims the couple laughed too loudly. The police got involved in the